Hey there, I also wanted to do a video on schooling because it is such a freaking minefield, and it's been something that's bothered me now for absolute years. Getting the schooling right for my kids, well, essentially my boys, because they're the elder ones. Luke is 10, Marley's nearly 8, and Jesse's 5. And it's been my quest now in 3 different countries to get the school right for them. Because we're very into the idea that children should enjoy school, that they should thrive there, not just survive, that it should be a lot of it children-led, that their creativity and their natural abilities should be encouraged and nurtured. And basically the traditional schooling model in Spain certainly was not like that. It was very much a sit down, shut up and learn parrot fashion. How things work. So that wasn't for us when we were living in Spain and the children were starting out at school there. England, the public, the normal schools there was by far the best experience we've had, which is ironic because it was free. But it wasn't how lots of people demonize public schools as being like a sit down, shut up type thing. It was a very beautiful space. Even though there were lots of children in the class, there were teaching assistants at hand should your child be struggling with something. They were very loving. I mean, it might just be our experience with our little village in Pagan, but or Felpham I should say, but it was a really wonderful experience, a lovely 2 years there. Then we came to Costa Rica, and they've been at a unschooling school for a year, which was great for the creativity and imagination side of things, but it was almost too much that way, because all it was play. There was zero guidance, zero lesson structure, nothing. So my children were actually getting quite bored, which was really funny, and they were asking for a more structured scenario where they could still dictate what they'd like to learn, but actually have someone teach them something, right? So we thought we were doing the best thing for them by sending them to a school down the road here called Del Mar Academy, which looks amazing because it's Montessori, I thought, until they were 12, and then follows the baccalaureate syllabus until they're 18. And gorgeous grounds, gorgeous premises, and facilities, like out of this world stuff. Climbing frames, skateboarding parks, basketball, massive football fields, the works. And every kid there looks like they're out of Abercrombie and Fitch, like advertisement. They're all so good looking, and it just looks wonderful. I should have known it was too perfect to be true, because they've been there 3 weeks now, and even though they're not unhappy, they're not happy. They're not thriving. They're like going grumbling every day, dragging their heels. When they come out, they're exhausted and not happy about the amount of homework they have to do. Like Luca, who's just turned 10, has got an hour's worth of homework every night to do, which just isn't fair, I don't think, after a 7-hour day and only half an hour break time. Can you believe? Only half an hour break time? Oh, in a Montessori concept, tests, exams, all that stuff's going on as well, which isn't supposed to be Montessori philosophy. Excuse my boob hanging out. Let's see if I can just nestle her down just a second. Oh God, sorry darling. Let's see if we can put you down there. So yeah, I'm really, really disappointed, it's fair to say, because the kids aren't happy, and that means I'm not happy, and I'm sure that's what it's like for most of the mama bears out there, right? If your children aren't happy, you just aren't. And I know the principal is going to make out like I'm a hysterical weirdo, because his reply to my email is already like, well, children take different times to adapt. Mine have never taken this long. You can't convince them, you can't force them to go. I mean, we have been, but that's not ideal, especially if you're paying a lot of money. You want them to be absolutely loving it. So I think 3 weeks is enough to know if your children are thriving or not, or if they're not really into it. And I know they're not really into it. So we went to look at a Steiner school up the road, which unfortunately was never open when I wanted to look at it before. And it looks all right, it looks great actually. But is it going to be? That's the question. Because as the boys say, they lie a lot in their marketing videos and the first few days when they want to keep the kids happy. But the reality is when they've been there a while and they really know how it functions. Sorry about all the angles here. So I'm just really peed off that I just can't seem to, get to grips with this minefield of schooling. And I can't be the only one out there who, we're entrepreneurs. We don't want our kids to just focus on grades and exams. We don't want our kids to have 0 time to be creative or problem solve, but just listen and copy and learn things off by heart. We want our kids, and we think it's really important in this world now, to think for themselves. There's nothing stopping them earning money when they're 13, 14 online these days. You hear it quite often. You don't have to get A-levels at 18 and go to university and graduate to get a good job. You know, people want experience, and maybe they don't even want to work for someone else. Maybe they want to work for themselves, to be truly free and live wherever they want to live and do whatever they want to do. I don't give a shit if my kid, you know, is a cook or a gardener or a hairdresser or a doctor or a lawyer. As long as they're happy doing what they're doing and they're the best at what they're doing, that's all that matters to me. So I don't understand where all this emphasis is being placed on academia, even if they claim and profess to be Montessori type schools. Oh goodness, okay, I better just a second. Where can I put you? I'll put you there for a second. Oh my love, come here. Yeah. And some of you may be saying, why don't you just homeschool? Well, I'll tell you for why I went homeschool. I've got 5 kids, all with different needs. I can't even just sit down, hello love, and do a video without someone coming along. I can't teach my 10-year-old algebra or simultaneous equations when I've got a 2-year-old like Australia coming and saying, Mummy, I want cuddles, or I want this and that. It's not fair on them, you know? They should be getting that uninterrupted attention in a school setting where it's focusing on them, where Mummy's not being distracted. And I also think that whole thing about Mummy being Mummy 1 minute and then being a teacher the next is confusing for them. And maybe it's also because I just don't have the stamina or the discipline to do it. You know, I don't want to be shouting at the little ones to be quiet so I can school the older ones. I also think it's really important for children to be with other children because that's normal. You know, kids want to be around kids. They don't want to necessarily be around adults all day. They need to play. They need to be with people on their level, right? People that are much more creative than an adult will ever be, not just naturally, and more playful than an adult will ever be. So to me, a lot of the school is about being social and being with your peer group. Not necessarily just people your own age, but people around your age, you know? People 5 years below and 5 years above you type thing. Do you agree? Yeah. So I think that's where a lot of the pleasure comes from being at school, because you're with your mates, right? Your kindred spirits. So that's why I don't want to homeschool. That's just a few of the reasons. So anyway, yeah, I guess I'm just talking about it because my whole mission in life is about empowerment for myself and for others, women specifically, but also children, obviously, because they're rather vulnerable in this world where a lot of us adults are putting down our rules, our laws, and they have to conform. And why? You know? They're their own beings. They're intrinsically very wise. They know how to learn. They learn how to crawl. She just learned how to crawl 4 days ago without any instruction. They know how to walk and talk without any assistance. And I'm sure they can learn a plethora of other things without being told how to do it, but rather inspired and, encouraged, right? And nurtured through the whole process. So, I'm just kind of freestyling this video because I just wanted to talk about empowerment for children and get any of your thoughts and feedback on what you think could be done in the future for these gorgeous little creatures who are going to be, you know, well, who are our future and our grandchildren's future. We want them to be empowered divine goddesses and gods, don't we? Right, I'm going to switch off now, but thank you so much for listening, and please do leave your comments. Say bye, Ray. Say bye. Bye.
Oh, my God.
Love and empowerment, ladies.